Well, well, well. How are we doing, folks? I'm Big D. And Mortal Wounds will be the end of 10th edition before that shit even kicks off. Sky Knox, how you doing? How you doing, bro? So, yeah. Been doing some deep dives, looking at stuff. 10th edition. Okay, what's on the bench? Well, first off on the bench, I am been painting. I started painting my custom chapter, the Death Speakers, and I'm kind of digging the way these guys are coming out. That Gal Vorback red and black with bone guns and a bone face mask. I got to put together basing for them. I've got some ideas. I think I know how I'm going to do it. I'm just kind of dragging my feet on it a little bit. And then additionally, as you can see right here, I am cutting up and basically building a Devastator squad for my, or Long Fangs, for my Space Wolves, as they're probably going to be the main faction I start off playing as 10th edition drops, because, well, barring Mortal Wound spam, they are pretty good. Barring Mortal Wound spam, they are pretty good. And that's something to be said. It's kind of disappointing that right off the bat, before we've even had a single set of dice drop, we're already seeing a major flaw in the upcoming game system that's supposed to be more tactical and less lethal, in the idea of some armies that are going to be able to spam ridiculous amounts of mortal wounds, because for the most part, designers aren't. Hey, Tina. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be getting some of it. I mean, that's the thing. I don't mind having some mortal wound capabilities. Having like a unit or two that can do an extra, hey, each guy can do a mortal wound. I mean, that's the easiest way to cap it. The maximum number of mortal wounds a unit can do is the max number of models in that unit. That'd be an easy way to do it. Something. But man, right now, it's bad. It is really, really bad. Like, Death Watch is going to be broken. I mean, there's a European group, I think it's WTC, it's saying until GW fixes their rules, Eldar are banned because they're that broken right out of the gate, which is just like, holy shit, guys. They haven't even rolled a single die yet, and we can already see pretty blatantly how broken they are. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying, holy crap, how did nobody catch this? And I think the answer is pretty obvious. The answer is basically GW sucks at playtesting or design implementation. I think it's divvied up into teams, and I think it's the same group, because the way they divvy it up like one group will take 4 teams and one group will take another 4 teams. And I'm just thinking it'd be funny if the guys that put all these mortal wound spam things together, like the Thousand Suns, like the Eldar, like the T-Suns, like the Death Watch, it'd be funny if that's all the same group. I mean, honestly, if GW wants to fix their game, the problem is that it's coming out the gate this broken, Ben. It's just like, I mean, I get where you're coming from on that. I don't entirely, maybe not entirely disagree with you on that one, but Eldar are popular, Marines are popular, Thousand Suns are pretty popular. So to just make them more powerful off the bat, I mean, yeah. And yes, it's not new that they keep doing this. I honestly think somebody on Reddit today had the easiest fix I've ever heard how to fix their games. There is such an easy fix. All you need to do is hire Manny Chiba. Make him a member of the permanent GW testing team. His job is to play test everything. Okay, Manny, here's an army. Oh, I need 3 of those unit and 3 of those unit. Yeah. Why? Because that's broken. What do you mean? Well, it's going to do this and this. I mean, the man finds every broken combo that G-Dubs puts out there and whoops half the world with it. Why not hire him to find that stuff before it becomes an issue? Pay the man and have him unbreak your game. Ugh. Is it really that hard? Yeah, unfortunately, you're not wrong there either there, Knox. Yeah, you're not entirely wrong there either. I don't know. I think Ben hit it on the head. They're going to sell the models, then FAQ them, and then they'll nerf the army into the ground. And then at the end of the season, when the rates are all even, because they've lost enough for long enough that they've evened out their win rate, well, then that works, right? Except now they're going to nerf an army into the ground and ruin them. And then they won't be playable for most of the rest of the expansion. If we learned anything from 9th, we learned that right around the end of 10th, everything was balanced. Just in time for them to drop 11. I love the cynicism of Reddit on this shit. It's hilarious. What else we got going on? Well, I mean, the General's Handbook for Age of Sigmar is coming down. I really can't talk much about 40K this week, to be honest, because everything's on hold. We got to see the new Marine book, which is great. We got to see all the different sets of Marines. My Wolves are going to be fun to play. I'm going to enjoy playing my Wolves. They're coming back. I've got the Wolves I got from Jeff up there. I actually got them from Knox, painted by Jeff right there. I'm going to take my Wolves. I'm building some Devastators. I'm going to make a big spreadsheet / whatever it is of what I have and figure out what to play. Once I get to see the points book, which is coming on Friday. I think it's Friday. We're going to finally see points. Points are going to be everything. Points will be everything. I think points are going to be the only thing that's going to matter. I think, like, I was looking at Death Guard, and Death Guard looked really good. I mean, there was a lot of complaints, but I mean, if their points aren't outrageous, they could be a pretty fun army to play too. The weird thing is, I did notice a major design flaw with them. Oh, I shouldn't say major. I noticed a very minor design flaw. It was kind of like, so Death Guard don't have to sit on objectives. If they've captured an objective, basically they get stink on the objective, and the objective stays theirs until someone at the end of the round, other than Death Guard, control it. So if somebody takes it from you and then dies, they could, I don't know how they would die in the middle of a round on their turn, but I mean, they have the ability to, like, they can walk on, they basically have sticky objectives. Okay, I'm overthinking this. They have sticky objectives. So the Death Guard can be continuously advancing because they don't need to stick on objectives. Except a lot of the units have buffs if they, dun 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 dun, stay on the objective. Well, what the hell? You're going to give me a buff, and you're going to give me a cool thing if I don't, but I need the buff to stay. Really, G-dubs? Dumb. Very dumb. I'm still on my quest to build and paint everything in my house. As soon as I'm done with this next batch of Marines, I'm going into my Hedonites of Slaanesh. I love the Slaaneshi models. They're so cool. They remind me of me. Sexy and gross all at the same time. I want to see if I can get my head scanned and get a model of my head that I can print out that I can replace, because I want to get the big dude on the big dude on his palanquin. I want to pull his head off and replace it with mine, so everybody knows it's my dude. Plus, I want to creep people out. I think it'd be funny. Wow, who's a big fat bastard? Well, that's Big D. No, I mean the figure is Big D. I think Sisters are going to be fun in ninth. I can't wait to see them get revealed later this week. I think Guard will be just fine. I think Guard's going to be Guard, and Guard's going to do what Guard does, but a lot of interesting stuff going on in the world of Warhammer right now. Just nothing this week. They even did a limited their whole video thing. We got a lot to talk about because we're getting ready for Leviathan. Basically, everybody in the warehouse is going, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Gotta get this stuff packed up. There's all this talk of stores and quotas and limits because they sold out. And so did they oversell? Did they undersell? I only know of 2 stores that I actually have information on. The one I work for, I've heard nothing bad. I've heard they're getting a huge allotment of boxes. I've seen the test box. I've actually dug my hands into the plastic and looked at some of the figs, and they're cool. I dig them. I'm looking forward to getting my dudes because I have a box on pre-order. I'm gonna get some neat pre-ordery goodness with them. Because even though I didn't buy them in a GW store, there's a lot of their associate stores or the mom and pop game shops that they gave some of their pre-order stuff too. Not all of it. Like I think I'm getting some art cards and some other neat little things. I didn't see all what I'm getting, but I'm getting some stuff on mine. And I'm kind of freaking out a little bit because the day of that release, I was going to cancel it because I didn't think we had any signups. And then in the week I was off of work, which is why I wasn't here on Tuesday. Part of why I was here on Tuesday. Because I was on call. Apparently that week, while I wasn't at work, they had a flurry of signups. So with 2 weeks to go, there are 5 people now that are playing our Farewell the Ninth. We have 11 slots open. Most of my team, which, rest in peace, is no more. Most of my team said, we're not going to come. I was hoping to have our boys come in for one last hurrah and kind of stack the deck for our Warp Storm 1, 2, 3, but it is not to be. Sorry, I'm going to build this last Long Fang. And I'm building them interesting because I'm not building with the Long Fang kit or with the Devastator kit. I have a bunch of Beakies that I have left over from my Age of Darkness box that I realized I'm really not enjoying Age of Darkness. I just don't really enjoy the game very much. So I'm glad the first force I made were all wolves and wolfed them out because I'm going to be able to take them and slide them all into 40K as various units within 40K, except for the big Land Raider, the big Spartan Land Raider, because that's been not allowed in 40K. I don't know. I'm going to compare it to I'm going to find a regular Land Raider and kind of compare them up to each other. If it's comparable in size, I'm just going to run it as a Land Raider Crusader because it's got all the las cannons. It's got las cannons for days. My big bro. Good to see you, bro. I am so happy to see you. So happy to see you. So happy to see you guys. So happy to see you, big bro. How you feeling? But as I was saying, I have a bunch of these Age of Darkness guys. My big bro has also mentioned an interest in learning how to play 40K. So I'm going to put together, once I have the points, I'm going to put together some little 500-point armies and sit him down with an army and have him plink some rounds downrange. Learn how to wreck people. But yeah, so I had a bunch of extra Beakies from I had like the other half of the box was turning into my word bearers. I never ended up making. And I had a heavy weapons upgrade box that I had bought. So I'm turning a bunch of them into a bunch of heavy weapons Devastator teams. Because those I can definitely use. I don't have to put these stupid studded. I hate the studded. I don't. I understand they're historical and all that, but I hate those studs. So I think they're icky and I don't like them. No, sir, not one bit. So we'll probably sell off some of these bits or give away some of these bits to some of the guys around the club. But now I got 5. I've got 1 squad of Devastators, multi-melted Devastators, ready to go. I'm going to make a set of Plasma Devastators next. So I have 1 team that's 2 Meltas and 2 Meltas and 2 Grabs, 1 set that's 4 Meltas, and 1 set that's going to be 4 Plasmas. I would actually love to get my brother to come down to Warp Storm. To be honest, his health does not always allow for him to come free into the world. One of the things I want to do also, I want to get a couple G-dub models, kind of cooler models, and give my bro the color schemes. Let him pick a color scheme and let him paint up a model using his historical techniques, where he doesn't have to worry about, the insane levels of detail of things like photo etch and just have him work with the base model out of the box, just like it is. And I love to see his techniques using them on, like, I don't know, just a Layman Russ or a Predator. Like, I'd love to see his take on, say, a White Scars Predator, this giant white tank with red and yellow markings on it, and have him go, "It's white? Oh, hang on," and just have him weather the crap out of it. I think it'd be hilarious. Or give him a Chaos Rhino and have him painted up using his historical methods, but have him painted up in the bright neon pink and black of the Emperor's Children. Oh God, that's just the thought of him doing that, just hilarious to me. Sorry, just seeing a historical painter going, their base colors what? What? Why would you have a tactical vehicle that's pink? What is tactical about pink? This bright fluorescent pink with dust. It's just, that's hilarious to me. Oh, that's funny. I love to see him do that. So may have to set that up. Back to Age of Sigmar a bit. We started talking about it and I got dumped back into 40K. So the General's Handbook's coming up. They just announced it. I think we're going to see. I think it's going to go on pre-order this weekend. And then we'll see it in 2 weeks or so, maybe in a week. But it's coming real soon, and it's in the same cycle as it's the 6-month cycle. And they're talking about it being in a different world. So they literally just released all this stuff for Gur, which I have to say, to name a savage land Gur. They're the savage Gur. They're the savages of Gur. That's hilarious. I can't take that shit seriously. But it's funny. But they're doing it, and I think they said it was going to be an icy place. I may have. They only mentioned it in passing. I'm like, but it's going to be a new realm they're talking about, which will be cool. And maybe eventually we're going to see Cities of Sigmar get their stuff. My God, they're teasing it and teasing it and teasing it, and I first was like, I'm going to play them. I'm not going to play them. I mean, I have to print and paint them all. And like right now, I'm like, no, I got so many other armies I got to focus on. I want to finish up. Literally, my goal this year is just finish what you got. And I'm going to be adding, and I'm trying not to add. I'm really trying hard not to add, just a piece here or a piece there. But, it's nuts. When I realized how much Slanesh I have to paint. And then I found an entire box, like a huge setup box of Death Guard that I have. They're all primed, and they all have their base green down, and they have their first layer of shading on them down. I did a Zenithal with a darker green and a lighter green, so that, get some nice star on them. And then they're put in a box and set aside. I'm like, oh my God. I remember when I did that, because I did those greens with my airbrush when I was trying to get the green mixture right for doing that monstrosity that I made like 2 years ago. So they've been sitting in a box waiting to be painted for like 2 years. They got their greens down. They literally would just be like, I could probably paint most of them in like a Sunday, because it's like 2 squads of Plague Marines and like a Lord of Virulence, and I think 2 squads of Terminators. It's a bunch of characters too. It's just like, and like I said, Death Guard's looking good. Now, Rob has already been threatening me with stealing my wolves back if I don't play wolves right off the bat. And I got to admit, the wolves do look really good. I mean, Ragnar is going to be an absolute monster on the table. The curse of having too many armies. I have to say, one of the things I'm very thankful for was selling off the last of my AdMech. As much as I enjoy the army, as much as I love the aesthetic of the army, selling off that army took the temptation to try and build it back up. I had already gotten rid of a lot of the good parts of it, and then I was like, well, maybe I still got enough to, and someone else was like, I want it. And I'm like, sold. And got rid of it. I will not. I've got my starter set of Votann. They're built. I don't know when I'm going to get to painting them. I mean, I want to paint them this year, obviously. I have a paint scheme picked out for them, but I don't want to buy any more. I don't want to buy any more right now. I'm like, Leviathan is very hopefully like one of my last purchases for the year for 40K. I've got plenty of other stuff. I've got a Land Raider. I got a regular classic Land Raider that needs to be painted. Although it's a Proteus, by today's standards, it's an actual original Land Raider. So I'm going to play it as a Land Raider. So I've got a Land Raider that I've got to do. I've got another Land Raider coming because of a lot of figures that I've got coming in that are basically someone's old Space Wolf collection because they're getting out of wolves. So I'm adding to my wolves. Why? I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but I know why. Because in my heart, I am Space Wolf. Oh. In my heart, I am still Space Wolf. I will always be Space Wolf. Space Wolf go howl. And that will never, ever go away. Reality being what it is, that will never go away. I will be a Space Wolf as long as I am in this flipping hobby. Put these away for now. It's been liberating, though, getting models built and getting rid of the backlog of unbuilt figures and getting them built and getting them out. And at the same time, trying to paint figures in between here and there. Well, shit, who are you? You're a Space Wolf. Look, it's a Space Wolf character. I have no idea where he came from. But he's built in Prime, so I must have had a plan at some point. I would almost guarantee that is. Yeah, I got to get through this bench here and get this cleaned up too. This is just dumb. Yeah, it's just dumb. I'm a big dummy. This hobby is overwhelming at times if you let it get to you. I mentioned before a little bit about Team Warp Storm, unfortunately, is at an end. Warp Storm store is still fine and everything wonderful there, and they're still friend of the show. But unfortunately, my run on a team is at its end. And part of that is the amount of time I do not have to go to long events. Life's a little too busy for me to go to. I mean, I wanted to go to Motor City Mayhem. That wasn't happening. I wanted to go to Kansas City. That's not going to happen. I don't see that happening this year. I think if I get to any big event this year, I think I'm going to be getting to Dragonfall. I think that'll be the one big event too, the one GT I get to this year. I'm going to try and play in a few RTTs. So, yeah, it is what it is. The inability to travel due to extenuating circumstances on my part is annoying, aggravating, but it's just part of the reality. Part of the reality of what my life is like. That is trash. That is a built figure. That needs to be put in the basing box. Painting terrain has been a lot of help. Getting a lot of terrain painted up and prepped for this tournament. Getting the terrain painted for the store has been great. Finding bits. As I delete things and as I clean things, I keep finding more bits, which is great. I've also been going through stuff and going, that's a bunch of crap, and throwing away sprues that are filled with bunches of nothing because I'm thinking, oh, well, I might be able to use something out. No, throw it away. I have purged so much stuff lately. It's been great. Getting stuff out of the room, getting stuff out of the junk. I'm probably gonna sell off some of my other stuff that I don't play with anymore because I can't come up with a reason. I can't come up with a good reason for hanging on to stuff that I don't see myself ever playing. You know, being honest and being real. There is a point in your hobby life where you have to go, am I really going to ever use this? Am I really ever going to play this? And if the answer is no, then get it the hell rid of it and get it in the hands of somebody who will. Get it in the hands of somebody who will enjoy it and will love it and will get use out of it and turn it into cash. Because cash is king, especially in this flipping hobby. I can't believe they sent me one of these things. It's so funny. It's even funnier because I've actually used it now, and I'm not convinced it's great, but I've used it, so it's all right for Marines. So I'll leave it at that. Let's see. What am I most looking forward to? The reveals. The box itself, I've already got into the box. Tomorrow night, I'm actually going to have some time where I can actually open up and finger through the real book and potentially the mission information, and go through the card deck that's going to be in there, because we actually have a demo box. So I might take some shots and put them up on Instagram and tell you guys what we got, show you what's happening. I love the figures in the box. I love that compared to the way they normally do figures, they actually did a really good job of, like, with push fits. They actually did a really good job of putting things so that the lines overlap, so that a lot of the mold lines are kind of hidden by the way the pieces fit together. Like the smaller piece and the bigger piece where they come together, so it looks like an armor piece. So there's a line there, but you can't really see it because the push fits come together with the big armor over the little armor just a little bit, or where two pieces would naturally come together, so there would be a line there. A lot of that works for this set, so I'm kind of excited by that. That the figures do look really good. The Hunter Screamer is such a great looking figure, and wow, it's so much bigger than I expected, but it is just a big, beefy figure. And then the Mind Thing, the one that's got the two little dudes with it, is so much. I expected them to be switched in size because I'm used to the regular Hunter Screamer that I have, though, the ancient one from the olden times in solid metal. I expected the Hunter Screamer to be maybe 2/3 to half the size it actually is. And I expected this mental thing with the two guys floating next to it to be, I expected that to be on the big base and those to be on like 40s. And it's the other way around. They're on 25s and he's on like a 60 maybe, or maybe even a 50. He is a lot smaller than I expected. Which is not disappointing. It's just like, oh, okay. The Dreadnought still... the problem is I really love the Dreadnought because I love Dreadnoughts, but somebody made a statement to me, and ever since they made the statement, I can't get it out of my head every time I see that thing. The first time anybody plays Orcs, one of them cheeky buggers was, let's go push him over. And they're just going to, I mean, they should legally be able to push him over and him just be stuck turtled on his back because he doesn't have any arms. He's just got a pair of long legs. And he's top heavy. If you push him over, how in the crap is he going to get back up? It doesn't happen. I mean, he fold the legs up underneath and roll up like that. Hey, it's leg day, guys. No, it's bad. It's so bad. At least with the boxies, the legs were short, so they could just eat and then just box forward. But these are the real long legs that the Redemptors had, and it's a huge, wide box. It's like, ugh. Get out of here, dude. Go shoot the sky. You ain't doing nothing. I am exceptionally excited for Thursday. I have a role-playing game. I missed it last Thursday because of shit going on in my family. And I missed the week before because of shit going on in my family. But everything should be okay this week. Finally. I'm actually really looking forward to playing this. I'm playing a scientific nerd in a sci-fi game. I'm excited to play this character. I'm excited to play a role-playing game for the first time in a few years. I want to play this character. I want to play this game. I want to play with Ben and Tina. I haven't had a chance to ever play a role-playing game with them. And they're like uber nerds. So they should be great. So, again, I am super excited. What other nerdly stuff is going on? Nothing. I mean, just the same old nerdy normalness that is the middle of summer. Less people showing up for events at the store, less people showing up to the weekend games because everybody goes and does stuff in the summer. You get used to it. You get used to summer gaming. Winter gaming was different. Summer gaming was different during COVID because we weren't allowed to be anywhere really. So we found places that we could go. We could socially distance and still do stuff. Everybody's out there because nobody could do anything anywhere else. And that was cool. I mean, I kind of got used to that because I don't like going anywhere. I don't like going like we're gonna go camping. Y'all go. We're gonna go on a trip and go driving for 12 hours and look at the national splendor of the. You go the fuck on. I don't care. We're gonna go to New York City and just take in a show and you can go. We're gonna go to Los Angeles. No, you can go. Like if I'm going somewhere, I want to go to the place because there's a reason to go there. Like I want to go to Sacramento to see my in-laws. I want to go to Oakland to see my cousin. I want to go to New Jersey to see my sister. If I go someplace long distance, I want to go there, be in a house, be someplace nice, see them, do my thing, and then leave. I don't want to just go and aimlessly wander in the wilds of nowhere. Like vacation for me is 7 days at home with a curtain around me and nobody bothering me while I build and paint. Or maybe going to like a convention, like a gaming convention, and going there and not have to worry about, oh, I have work and no, I'm going to go there and game and model and play. That's for me. That's me going. So being actually excited about going on and gaming again for me is kind of a big deal because I really haven't been in a social mood for a while. I haven't been me for a bit. I get burnt out on tabletop gaming, honest and truly. Tabletop role-playing games. I ran a game for a very long time, and my players made me lose my mind, to be honest. My players made me lose it. One of my players especially, a couple of them in all, but one of them especially, and I love him to death, but he made me not want to cheat anymore. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I liked it. My son Ray actually ran another game, which I take that back. It hasn't been that long because I was in a role-playing game that my son ran with the Commodore, with Phoenix, with me, with Lady D, another guy. And that was pretty fun. And it was a 40K setting, which kind of counts as not normal role-playing, but it was fun. It was we were a band of inquisitors, and I got to play a tech priest. And I got to be weird as hell. And I loved it because I was literally when everyone else is kind of normal. Everyone was just kind of normal. We had a Sister of Battle novitiate. We had the Inquisitor that's a former commissar. We had a pilot. And oh yeah, we had a rogue psyker that became a sanctioned psyker during the course of the game. And then we had a rogue trader medic. So fairly normal. And then there's me. VX109000 Zeta. They called me Veeks for short. And I lived by a motto that drove everybody crazy. That which is heresy on Terra is not heresy on Mars. And that which is heresy on Mars is not heresy on Terra. A lot of people didn't get that at first, what that meant. But what it basically meant was that I was a heretic. I wanted to advance technology. I wanted to take Necron technology and Eldar technology and go, I'm going to mush it together with Imperial technology and make ray guns. And yeah, that was bad. Yeah, that was bad. I was a psychopath. I mean, I was literally accused at one point of having defective programming. And I'm like, but I'm not an AI. Don't look at my Castellan. because he does not have an AI either. Really. Stop looking at him. Oh, yeah, I was a techno-archaeologist, and my whole goal was digging things up and stealing them to make things that nobody should ever have again. And I got us into trouble more often than not by going, logic dictates, bam, let's just start a fight. And the problem is I wasn't a good fighter. I wasn't a good shooter. I saw the logical if I start the fight, then everything bad at me when we win, because the Sister of Battle has a heavy bolter and a combi flamer, and that's going to handle all of our other problems. Who cares? We'll get through this. The commissar has an Inferno pistol. I'm fine. What do I have? I got a robot body that I can reassemble. That's about it. That was a fun game. I had a lot more fun in that game than I thought the setting was going to allow for. It wasn't a question of the GM. The GM's great. I know he's good. I had a question about the setting because it is such a grim, dark, and just hopeless setting. And I kind of went, you know what? I'm of my own hope. Your hope is what you make of it. So we turned it into it was grimdark, but it was grimdark. It was a grimdark comedy, which was not good. It's a great game. I wish Commodore was here to tell you guys. It was a great game, but it was we were not normal. We had in trouble a lot for why did you guys? Because of what we had. But it's what we had. It's what we had to work with. Like when we recruited a gang in an undercity and then put uniforms on them and made them part of our detachment. Yeah, we're Inquisition. We vouch for them. They're ours now. Come with us. Come on. They're a gang. They're our gang. They are our gang. That's an important designation. How do you guys have a gang? We gave them food and clothing. They have rags and corpse starch. We have better benefits. And we give them ammo. Man, is it smart to put guns in these guys' hands? Is it smart to not use the guns at all? Well, no. Let's give them guns and hope they keep shooting the same direction we are. And our faith usually was... our GM didn't screw us too hard. Let's just leave it at that. It was a good game. It was a really good game. We had a good time with it. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this game. I've been looking forward to it. I was really bummed when I had to miss it last week, but between two people in my family having a health emergency in the same day, like a major health deal come down that day, I was not in a mood to pretend anything. I would have been in a very bad place all game, so it was better to not go. Would have been better. Everybody would have had a more fun time with me not there. Just being honest, because I know what an ass I can be when I'm in a foul mood. And trust me, I was in a foul mood. But I think that's it. I think that's really all we got today. I mean, it's an interesting thing that I've been noticing, that as the summer grows, the release schedule shortens, and I've got less to talk about. Also, I think my viewpoints on the game have gotten to the point where I'm not like just babbling for hours about certain aspects that aren't a thing as I understand more about the game, I understand more about design venues, and understand more about the inner workings. I know what I know. I know that I like Age of Sigmar. I know that I like 40K. I like what they're doing with 40K. They just need to fix the shit they're doing. And Age of Sigmar need to just stay on the rule set they're on. I don't want there to be an Age of Sigmar 4.0. I want them to just keep doing these generals' handbooks and leave everything the hell alone. Just leave this edition the way it is, because right now it's really good. Right now it's really good. I actually spent a good portion of time I was on call last week, actually watching Age of Sigmar battle reports. I watched a bunch of Dia's Cast backlog reports. I watched a bunch of Twitch streams from some European tournament this past weekend. And it was interesting to watch. I mean, it's really good to see that, like, there are a couple very dominant armies, but there's a lot of upper mid. There's a lot of balance. There's not a lot of really awful armies. There's a couple armies that aren't doing very well, and maybe they need a little bit of help. But for the most part, pretty much everybody's in the B plus range. So it does come down more to player skill than it does like, oh, this army rides to an auto win. So I love to see that. I would rather every army is a B plus to an A minus rather than being some D's to make up for the A pluses or some F's to deal with a bunch of A's. I mean, let's just keep everybody in the fun to play, good mechanics, can win a game against anybody, and just kind of everybody just throwing punches in there and seeing who it comes down to. And you are absolutely right there, Ben. To a point. You're absolutely right to that, especially when you talk about it at a local level, because nobody I'm playing with here is a top tier tournament player. There definitely are some armies in a lower skill faction, in a lower skill group of players, or I don't want to say lower skill because that's not proper. In a lower competitive mindset, there are some armies that do rise to the cream a little easier. But I think we've got to the point where most armies, and I absolutely agree with you, and that's the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing. The only army I really feel like I won't play, even though I love their aesthetic, is because I don't have enough variation within their army. I'm just being honest. For me, I like an army to have variation. I like it to have lots of cool, lots of little cool. Like I'm doing everything I can, like, to not go get Skaven. I love Skaven. They're so cool. I don't care if they're good or bad. They just look so awesome as models. I don't need another army. The reason I'm trying to avoid is I don't need another army, Ben. Oh my God. I have so many armies now that I'm like, they're so cool. I don't need more of them. Like, I have my Hedonites, and I love my Hedonites. I love the aesthetic. I love the paint scheme I've designed for them. I have such an easy but shockingly good paint scheme for them. I love them so much. I don't even know if they're good. I don't care if they're good. I love them. I love them, love them, love them. And my Nurgle boys, God, they love the aesthetics of that army. And I do love the way they play. And I know they're strong, but I love the way they play. They're fun. They're just like, what the hell just happened? Oh, the buffs all changed. Turn the table. We're going to do something weird. I love the Nurgle army. I love my giants. I mean, my ogres. I have been told the Orgors are not good unless you're playing with Kragnos. And I'm like, I don't want Kragnos. I don't want this gigantic, ugly Min. I mean, yeah, he's a giant demon centaur monster mountain thing. I don't know. I don't really dig him. I mean, he's okay, but I don't really want to get him. I want to put lots of fat bodies on the table. Let's get on here and eat somebody. And we played that one game, and I loved it. I was like, this is so much fun. I'm going to die against those giant hammer dudes. And I got lucky that I didn't. But I love my Ogres just being fat buddy boys, just walking, I'm going to eat me somebody. They're fun, and I love their aesthetics. I don't care if they're good or not. I don't care if they're good or not because I don't play competitive Age of Sigmar. I refuse to play competitive Sigmar. I want to play what's fun. And I'm kind of turning that route with 40K. I'm looking at the stuff going, what army is the best to play? What could be good? And I stopped myself. I went, no. And it's all Skynox's fault. Yeah, Skynox, it's your fault. Mr. Competitive, it's your fault. I'm not trying to field the most competitive army. The Space Wolves are solid. They have a solid, very thematic rule set in 10th edition. And he pointed out, dude, you're Mr. Space Wolves. You should be playing them. And he's absolutely right. I am Mr. Death Guard. I am Mr. Astra Militarum. Those are my 3 real armies in 40K. Astra Militarum, Death Guard, and Space Wolves. I'm going to focus on Wolves until I get sick of playing them. And then I'm going to swap to another army until I'm ready to go back to them. But I think for the majority of 10th, I'm going to have painting projects to paint other 40K armies that I have and own and want to do. But playing, I think 10th is the addition of I'm playing Space Wolves. And I think that's where I'm at. And I think for Age of Sigmar, I'm not doing that. I'm going to swap between my 3 main armies. I'm going to play my Ogres. I'm going to play my Nurgle boys. And I'm going to play my Slaanesh. And I'm going to swap between 3. And then maybe, if I get them built and I get them painted, I will bring out my Ossiarch Bone Reapers. But I haven't even touched them yet. They're all still in the boxes. They're still shrink-wrapped. They're still pristine. I haven't even started on them yet. Because when I paint them, I'm going to do something, again, kind of like I'm doing with these guys. They're going to be a project paint. I'm going to most definitely do something with them. I don't know what it is yet. But I'm going to do something with them that I haven't done with another army, paint-wise, kit bash-wise. Something different with them. And I want to use that technique exclusively on an army and do something bigger, badder, bolder, cooler. Whether it's I focus on OSL for that entire army and do something so the whole army has a very definite OSL base to it. Or I'm going to go out and make sure I have like some serious pigment powders and do like really, really like, as much as I like unpopular opinion, I hate OSL too. I don't disagree with it, which is why I kind of want to do it, because I want to do it differently than I've seen. I hate when you see OSL done from the perspective of I'm carrying a big glowy weapon and this weapon covers my entire figure. I kind of thought I saw one army that I thought was really cool where somebody basically shaded the entire army. They painted the entire army. They painted it in black. Yeah, I absolutely hate that, dude. I'm with you on that. I absolutely hate that look. Like when I paint a plasma weapon, I paint it to make it look like it glows, and the glow is about this far off the gun, and that's it. I don't want it to get everywhere because I worked hard on that paint job. I hate that. Yeah, I agree absolutely. The thing is, I'm kind of thinking I want to overdo it, in a very specific way. For one of the ideas I had for the Osiark Bone Reapers is to paint them up, like paint them in black, dry brush them in gray, dry brush them in white, and then go in and do the sepia on them so that all their bone bits are done. And then, Mr. Fish, good to see you. Yeah, that's I get where you're coming from there. But kind of paint them so they're done in their sepia, and then do like their cloth or anything in kind of a neutral color, and do their metals in kind of like some neutral colors. And then do the bases in like lava. And so I flip the figures over and do a really strong red OSL, the entire bottom of the figures going up. So it looks like they're on hot glowing lava all around them. So I'll have them standing on stuff in there, but there's definite light coming up from the glow beneath them. And then come from the top and then do like a dark blue OSL from the top, but very translucent. So it looks like they're standing on lava, but at night. So it's kind of like a movie poster where it's like the bright and the dark, and it shades all the colors. You can kind of see the colors in there, but the army is really those two colors with the other colors toning it through the middle. I thought about doing that. There was also some thought about doing the movie poster army, where basically you paint your army in like neutral tones, and then you cut the entire army at a 45-degree angle at half, and you do orange and blue, and do that kind of OSL, where the whole army is like, it's orange from this direction and blue from that direction, and it's every single movie poster you've ever seen. I saw a single figure done like that, and I thought it was really cool, especially if you use a completely translucent blue. So all of your shading and all of your everything shows through, and you do a translucent orange so that all of your shading and all your coloring shows, so that you can just show that it's just this lights, and that's kind of a neat concept. But I'm not convinced yet. There are some other things I've thought about doing as well. And there have been some really crazy ideas I've had. So whatever I do with them, I want to do something I haven't done before. I just don't know what that is yet. So I'm not building them until I'm inspired. So they're the one army that gets the pass for the cleaning up the workspace. And I've got a bunch of ideas. There's doing an entire underground army where paint them in very dark tones. Again, doing OSL, but on the ground have like little mushrooms here or there, and wherever there's little mushrooms, have them have a glow, and that's the only spot where you have little spots of like a slightly bluish glow where they're at. So they look like they're all in dark and shadow undead. So, that whole, there's just dark and everything there. But then this little glow from where, like, a mushroom is. It's another thought. Again, I got some ideas. I'm going to hit up some of the more amazing painters in our community about that. I want to talk to Solar Forge Foundries. I want to talk to Tech, the big two. I don't talk to I know locally. I actually want to talk to Mythos and Freak about it, get their thoughts on it. I want to, again, if I can get my brother to paint up even something as simple as like a Rhino or a Russ, just in colors, but using his techniques, so that I can show it off as a component piece to another army. Maybe use some of his techniques and get some ideas on what to do something different. The only thing I know I will not be doing different, I will not be using enamels. So I'll get that out of your head right now. No enamels. At least on when I paint, I will not be using enamels. No enamels. Not my thing. I don't like them. No, sir, not one bit. That being said, I think we are going to wrap it up here. I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. I want to thank you all for being a part of the show. keep rolling dice, keep gaming. Thursday, I will see Ben and Tina and Commodore and a few other people. I am ashamed for Commodore and Pirate Phoenix. They're not here. They make me sad. I don't know where they are. He didn't say anything to me today, so I don't know. I think he's actually in Ohio or something. His job takes him traveling, so he might be away from the house right now. And so that means his lovely wife is commiserating, probably talking on the phone with him or doing something lovely because they are a couple of newlyweds and I love them so much. But thank you everybody for coming up. Thank you, Skynox. Thank you, Karaskios. Mr. Fish, I appreciate you always. And of course, my lovely brother, thank you so much. If y'all could give me a big little thumbs up on your way out, give me a couple likes there, let people know that I'm mildly entertaining, mildly interesting, and not a complete waste of air. I would absolutely approve that, and I would absolutely love to see that from you. I want to give a big shout out and a big congratulations to my guys, the Frost and Fist, for hitting 1,000 subscribers. Whoa, big time. They are big time real channel now. 1,000 subscribers. I keep bouncing around that mark I'm at. I'll get there someday. But until then, stay epic.